unnecessary elimination of food groups. The other thing that people do when they're dieting or doing the diet for themselves is they think they have to cut out food groups in order to lose weight. So the big one for this is keto dieting, where people think they have to cut out carbs in order to lose weight, because people do tell them that carbs are turned into fat and that carbs will make them fat and overeat. Now, it is true that carbs are nice, and it is true that people do tend to overeat on carbs. But actually, if you look at research which has been done on things like carbs turning to fats in the body, you will actually find that carbohydrates, as a proportion of calories extra in the body, turn to fat less than what fat does. So if you, for example, were to overeat in your diet and you ate a lot of carbs, it's more likely that the fat that you eat in that day, not the carbs, will be turned to fat. Now, this is because the carbs in the body, they push your calories up high, so that then the fat that you eat as well, the body can very easily turn that to body fat, whereby carbs are very hard to turn to body fat, although the body can do it. So it's not so much that cutting out carbs makes you lose weight, it's the fact that cutting out carbs makes you eat less calories. Now, the problem with this is that carbs are nice and we like eating carbs, and if you go into a keto diet, you've got to eat just protein and fats and very, very low carbs. Now, the problem with this is that, of course, you can eat too many calories on a keto diet. So even if you were eating 0 carbs and you were eating protein and all the fats for the keto diet, if you overate your calories for the day, so say your calories for the day is 2,500 in order to maintain weight, and you ate just protein and fats and managed to eat 3,000 calories, well, then the extra 500 calories you've eaten, they are going to turn to fat. There's no other way about it. The body will turn excess fat into fat. So what we want to do is, rather than saying, right, well, carbs are bad, or fat's bad, or protein's bad, or whatever, we're going to say, right, we'll have foods in proper proportions. So if you like eating carbohydrates, then make sure you have some in your diet. If you are a preference for eating more fat in your diet and you don't really like eating carbohydrate, well, that's fine then. Just reduce the amount of carbohydrate and eat a bit more fat if that's what you like. So nuts, avocados, peanut butter, that sort of thing, if you like eating that. But always remember that it's the calories that you eat which will determine your weight gain or weight loss. It's not the foods that you eat, it's always the calories. So don't think, oh, I have to remove a certain food from my diet in order to lose weight, because that's not correct. And actually, if you do remove foods from your diet which you actually really like, all that will happen is you will crave that food for a long time, and eventually you'll crack and have a mass binge on that food, and then that will set you off onto, oh no, I've destroyed my diet, I might as well just eat loads more food. And then you'll be back into where you started with fat going back on, and you've essentially trashed your diet. So make sure your diet is constructed from foods you like. Don't take out foods that you don't want to be without. I always have things like rice and potatoes and bread in my diets because I like eating that. One of my other friends who diets for bodybuilding shows, he just has low carbs, he likes having high fats, that sort of thing, so he has that. But never think you have to do something because someone in the media says it's some sort of secret voodoo. There's no secret to eating more fat to burn more fat. That doesn't happen. All that happens when you eat more fat, your body starts to burn more fat as a proportion of the energy it expends in the day. So if you ate very low carbs and ate lots of fat, yes, you would burn more fat, but the fat would be from your dietary fat, the fat that you've eaten, unless you go into a calorie deficit, and then you'll start to burn body fat. So I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, need a bit more clarification, just shoot me an email or make a comment on Facebook or something. I'm always happy to help. And these terms and these concepts can be a little bit daunting when you first come to them. But the moral of this video is, don't cut out carbs if you like eating carbs, because you'll hate yourself and hate your diet.